Welcome to NBA Now by Chat Sports, day one of free agency. It's here, I guess, and we're here to break it all down. Nick Rohloff and Patrick Siepman here going through all of the moves that happened on the first day here. And it started with Alex Len right before free agency really started. Len re-signing with the Kings on a one-year, $3.3 million deal. Nothing really crazy there. Is going to be a backup to Domantas Sabonis. An intriguing one, though, Seeps, is Obi Toppin signing back with the Pacers on a 4-year, $60 million deal. $15 million for Obi.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a deal with any other team, I'd probably call it an overpay, but he's a great fit with Indiana. He's a perfect fit with what they like to do offensively. So, for Obi getting this type of money, I think it was a great call. Obviously being a key piece, to a team that made the Eastern Conference Finals last season and put up 10-plus points per game, super efficient as well, and he actually shot 40+% from downtown this past season.
Yeah, Max Christie came in here right before we got underway. 4 years, $32 million with the Lakers. A little bit shocked there that he got that much money over that much season. Someone who has not had the biggest impact for the Lakers over the past couple of years. But then the big one that happened before free agency, James Harden. Clippers have been in the news, but 2 years, $70 million to return to Los Angeles. Felt like it was a must for them after they make that deal to start last season.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the Clippers still think of themselves as a contender in the Western Conference, and if you do, bringing back James Harden was a must for them. Still pretty effective last season, was one of the best ISO players in the league, but again, postseason time comes around. We know who James Harden is. He's been the same player throughout his NBA career. Has these highs in the regular season, postseason time comes around, and then, it's just hills and valleys with his game. I mean, he had a game against the Mavericks, went off for 30-plus points. Next game, he's 2 of 15. It's just typical James Harden, but, Clippers just need to get this done.
Yeah, Luke Kornet re-signed with the Boston Celtics. So we'll package this with Neemias Queta as well. They keep both of their third and fourth string centers. No Kristaps for the beginning of the year, so maybe some depth behind Al Horford for this upcoming year. The Heat also retained one of their big men, Kevin Love, on a 2-year, $8 million contract. A little surprising here that it's a 2-year deal in full. No player option for Love, as they did last year. It was a 1+1 full 2 seasons, so he's guaranteed to be on the roster for Miami over the next couple of years. A little bit surprised by that, but Love is good mentor and veteran for the Heat over the past couple seasons after being a buyout market guy.
Yeah, I mean, great in the locker room. Obviously, he's going to help Ware, who the Heat took in the first round. But I'm a big fan of Kevin Love. Always have, great guy to have in your locker room. But, hey, you guys let me know so far who has been the best signing. You guys let us know down in the comments section. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So scroll on down there. Let us know your thoughts on who has been the best signing so far throughout NBA free agency.
Yeah, then your guy, Andre Drummond, is the first player to switch teams in free agency, signing a 2-year, $10 million contract with the Philadelphia 76ers to become the Joel Embiid backup. He was terrific the past couple years for Chicago.
Yeah, no, one of the best offensive rebounders in the game, plays with energy, plays with passion. Honestly, not as bad as people think of him defensively, can actually switch on the guards decently well, but this move for the Sixers, I absolutely love it. I think this was a great move. I think he's going to be one of the best backup centers in the league. And obviously, as we know, Joel Embiid, gets hurt more than anybody. And having a guy like Drummond who you can throw in there, that was a great move by Philadelphia.
Yeah, then Kevin Porter Jr. is back in the league. Don't really love that, but he is signing a 2-year deal with the Clippers, 1+1 for KPJ, the former highly touted pick out of USC, ultimately was in Greece last year and getting a second chance with the Clips here. But then the real big news of the day to this point is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope signing a 3-year deal with the Orlando Magic. It's a 2+1 player option in the final year, but the Magic, who needs some backcourt help with Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero, hoping to take that next step, get a 3-and-D guard in KCP.
Yeah, I love this move for Orlando, but thinking about it from Denver's perspective right here, you're losing 2 players over the last 2 off seasons that were key contributors to your championship team. I mean, you lost Bruce Brown to the Pacers last year, and now you're losing KCP. And I will make this note for the Magic. They're going to have one of the best defensive backcourts in the league with Suggs and KCP. I think the biggest question with them is, can Banchero take that jump to become a true number 1 option on a championship team, adding a guy like KCP around him will definitely help that case.
And you also wonder here, Seeps, does signing KCP help their pitch to Paul George when they get that meeting with him over the next 24 hours? 76ers are the leading candidates for PG right now, but maybe you could say, hey, listen, you and Caldwell-Pope in the backcourt, Franz and Paolo in the front court. It's a good young core in an Eastern Conference that is a little bit gettable outside of the Boston Celtics. Make sure you are subscribed to us here at Chat Sports live for 5+ hours on day one of free agency. We're going to be back for day 2. I'll be live with Sam Brown and Jack Lotteray. Come join us. Paul George may be a Sixer. He might be a Magic. I don't know, but we're going to break down everything when we are live.
Now, this was an obvious move. The Pistons had to make this, but they did extend Cade Cunningham to a 5-year, $226 million deal, and it's just the same question with Detroit I have every offseason. What is the direction of this franchise? Because they make some moves where it's like, oh, we're gonna try to win some games this year. We're not going to be the bottom feeders of the Eastern Conference. I understand you had to get this done, but I just can't shake the Detroit Pistons just process.
Yeah, he's been very good for them. 2 out of the last 3 seasons. He missed basically all his second year, but he's been good other than that. Eric Gordon signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. 1 year, $3.5 million is what I ended up seeing. I like Gordon, average 11 for the Suns last season, shot 38% from 3. I think this is a sneaky good signing for them to be one of their lead guards off the bench alongside Jared McCain, who they picked at 16. We'll see how they fill out the rest of that roster. Is Paul George going to be a Sixer? I don't know. Is he going to play the 2? Is he going to play the 3? Even if he is there, that's the biggest question. But they're starting to fill out their bench with McCain, Adembana, who they drafted, Gordon, and then obviously Andre Drummond as well.
See, this is a move I love this move for San Antonio. I understand $11 million for Chris Paul, maybe a little rich for a lot of people, but you're talking about him just not only on the court, but also off the court. Like, he is going to be a mentor for Castle, who they took 4th overall this past draft, and also I bet you he's going to play a key development in Victor Wembanyama's development, having a guy who can throw him that lob and, maybe just throw him in there 15, 20 minutes a game just to man that offense. And I absolutely love this for San Antonio. Obviously, they have a ton of structure within that organization, and I think that's what CP3 wants.
Yeah, it makes sense. Said he was sold on the leadership of Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches of all time. It makes a lot of sense for CP3. It makes a lot of sense for the Spurs, so we'll see how that marriage ends up happening. Jonas Valanciunas, this one's very intriguing to me. 3 for 30. I get it from Washington's point of view because they need to add a center to help alongside Alex Sarr, who they took in the second overall pick. But from Valanciunas' perspective,
what are you doing?
Why are you signing with the Wizards? If at this stage of your career, why are you trying to bag chase? I would take $2 or $3 million less per season to try to play a contending team.
And you're telling me a team wouldn't have tossed him 3 for 25? That is obviously in a better position to win games this upcoming season. I totally agree with you. I have no idea why Valanciunas took this. I mean, he still fills up the stat sheet. He's a walking double-double. This was in terms of a move that I did not see coming, was Valanciunas going to the damn Wizards. But, some of these teams in the East, man, the Wizards and the Pistons, they just all think the same.
It is definitely the most head-scratching move of the day. Well, we are done with at least the signings that have happened. We can take a look at what may happen in the next 2 to 3 hours here. Clippers apparently out. No Paul George. They are parting their ways. And all the signs point to the Philadelphia 76ers. Shams had to know, Chris Haynes, Woj, and then Law Murray as well, saying that there is a real chance that the decision from Paul George could be made today with the expectation that it is the Philadelphia 76ers. It really looks like it's between Philly and Orlando at this point, with it heavily going into the 76ers' favor. Makes a lot of sense. Fits perfectly next to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. It's a question of PG can live up to that hype in Philly, though.
And also them having the additions of Eric Gordon and Andre Drummond. They're going to have a complete team. If they stay healthy throughout this entire season, obviously that is the biggest concern with that guy on screen and Joel Embiid. But, man, I love the fit of him in Philly. I think they're going to be a powerhouse if they stay healthy. And I would call them the biggest threat to the Boston Celtics over the New York Knicks if they can get this done.
Yeah, so we had this conversation. I'm curious to get your thoughts on it real quick. We believed, Harrison Graham and I, when we were live earlier, that they would be the number 2 team in the East above the Knicks, Would you concur with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. The top end talent there is incredible. Like Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid, like that, they all complement each other's games very, very well. And it just comes down to health. Like if they can stay healthy, I think they're the biggest threat to the Boston Celtics in the East. So
yeah, one more thing that we'll tie up here is Klay Thompson, the probably second biggest name, not the best free agent, but name at least. Him and the Warriors, done, finito, not going to happen. And it feels like the Mavericks, Lakers, Clippers, and I guess the 76ers are going to be the teams interested in Thompson. I got to be honest, Clippers and 76ers, probably not going to happen. Feels like it's either going to be Dallas or the Lakers. Anthony F. Irwin says you never know until it's done, but it's sounding like the Lakers are a pretty distant second place to Dallas to land Klay Thompson. A lot of that cautious optimism has waned significantly since yesterday. I'll be very intrigued to see where Klay ends up. I'm kind of a little bit skeptical on either of those fits. I feel like he will have a decrease in volume and efficiency due to having unfamiliarity with that offense that he's been so tailored towards in Golden State. But I know you're a little bit higher on Klay than I am.
Yeah, honestly, I think him going to Dallas or Los Angeles is the best choice for him. Play around a guy like Luka and LeBron who just generate offense at the highest level. I'll make this comparison. Everybody remembers when Ray Allen went to the Miami Heat.
Oh, it's not the same.
I could say the same thing about Klay Thompson.
It's not the
heading
same.
to whatever team he signs to. He is the most disrespected man in the Chat Sports offices as it stands.
It is not the same. That is ridiculous. All right, whatever. Let's round out today's show with this. Paul George and Klay Thompson, two biggest names, two, I guess, people or dominoes to fall. Which deal gets done first? Type PG for Paul George, type KT for Klay. I'd probably go Paul George because it feels like it's going to be done in the next 12 to 24 hours. Hey, hell, it could be 2 or 3, but let me know your thoughts down below.